And apparently there's a concern. We'll see. There's a broad spectrum of concern on Fox News about the leak of classified documents, because on the one hand, they really do want to blame Biden for this, even though it's a structure that's been in place for decades and this guy just found a way to exploit it. And that Biden's reacting to a problem that occurred during his presidency, that occurred during other presidencies. I mean, the fucking last president ran off with more shit than this kid did, and it was more crucial to our ability to keep tabs on our enemies than what he had. But there's a broad spectrum of outrage outrage over at Fox News.
Let me be very clear here tonight. This is a big deal.
It's totally a big deal. Here's Biden trying to bury some of the boxes full of secrets that he has.
All of us, all of you have been lied to by Joe Biden.
Oh, dear.
And the Biden administration and their inability to safeguard this country's most sensitive secrets. This is a clear and present danger, a major threat to our national security. By the way, a major threat for our allies' national security. By the way, it gives Vladimir Putin, I know the Biden family syndicate loves to do business with Russia and Putin. It gives...
What? Yeah, like at this point, they're just moving Russia to Biden. Yeah, we're supporting Ukraine because I think it's because Russia has a certain kind of kink. They like to get their booty spanked. And Biden is happy to oblige them. It's the same thing with China. His relationship with Russia and China is the same. They pay him to fuck them both in the ear. It's just their thing. This they like. We're not here to yuck anybody's yum.
Critical intelligence that they would not have otherwise had. And worst of all, it exposed that Joe Biden authorized putting U.S. Special Forces on the ground in Ukraine and lied to we, the Americans.
I got news for you, too. Of course, there are U.S. Special Forces, quote, on the ground in Ukraine. They're not fighting for Ukraine. They're in Kiev because our congressmen and senators and Biden himself go there to meet with the president, as do other European leaders. And we help them to make sure they don't get fucking killed. Of course they were there. It's like it's like saying Biden put American Secret Service members on the ground.
American people, we should have known about some of this. They should have at least gone through Congress, and this needs to be gotten to the bottom of.
It must be gotten to the bottom of. Well, you're the guy to do it, Shah, and if anybody can got to the bottom,
documents exposed our entire Ukraine war strategy.
No, it didn't.
Our level of involvement. It revealed that there are the special forces stationed at the embassy in Ukraine.
Right. Of course we have special forces in case we have to bug people out and it involves, it's a war zone, dumb fuck. Of course they're at the embassy. Why wouldn't you? I swear to God, if what was written in these documents was Biden could have put Secret Service and Special Forces people at the embassy, but he didn't. Sean would be doing a segment about how Biden's not even protecting our embassies with Special Forces and he wants another fucking Benghazi. Zero doubt.
They gave the location of where our forces are.
First of all, they didn't give it. This guy leaked it. Secondly, everybody knows where the embassy is, dummy.
Well, that makes them a target.
Or warns Russia away from hitting the U.S. embassy because that would involve killing our soldiers, which obviously would be there.
Vladimir Putin. They uncovered information of U.S. spies that they have obtained about Russia and the UAE's strengthening relationship with Russia.
Dude, what? You didn't see fucking MBS giving Putin a high five?
By the way, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UAE, they have all abandoned the coalition under Donald Trump, and they are betting
the coalition. So you're saying the Abraham Accords were ass? You don't say.
On China, not on the United States, to be the world's largest superpower.
No, that's the last person they can sell to. And by the way, does anyone think that the relationship between the Saudis and Iran and the Uyghur Muslim policy in China will coalesce well in Afghanistan and open areas of the Middle East. Does anybody, why in the fuck would you think that after all the shit that the US and Australia and France and the UK went through in places like Afghanistan or the Middle East over the years, that once we get out, the next group of people seeking to exploit the place, who, by the way, are more authoritarian and do want to lay claim on the land, ultimately would like to own it. Look at the Belt and Road Initiative and the debt trap that they set up so that they can actually own ports and lands and bases and that kind of stuff in other countries. Who the fuck thinks that's going to go down well in the Middle East? Does anybody? Does anybody think that China is going to have a good go of it in Afghanistan now? That it's just going to somehow, hold on. This is all right. This is a great way of putting it. This is probably the best. This is a great way to phrase it. China is doomed to play a significant role in Afghanistan. That pretty much sums it up. It doesn't go well for anyone. And by the way, hold on. Yeah, this was in, hold on, this was in December. China urges citizens to leave Afghanistan after Kabul attack. It's going great. Oh dear. And that's a mixture of ISIS and the Taliban and all the different faiths in that country all have their targets set on China. The minute they put Chinese characters on a building, it becomes a target all throughout the Middle East. Because I think as Americans, those of us that have any decency whatsoever, are horrified at the treatment of the Uyghur Muslims in a general sense. You don't even have to be Muslim to be upset and think, well, hey, perhaps I don't want to buy clothing from that country anymore because they use slave labor and they murder people and they sterilize them and they, send them to re-education camps where a lot of the men don't ever come back. And that's bad. That's bad. That's a bad thing. But how the fuck do you think Afghans feel about it? Across the board. Or all the Muslim sects about that? Because the Chinese aren't going, well, it's the Shia we really have a problem. Oh, no, it's the Sunni we really have a... No. In general, it's an atheist country, and they believe all of these faith groups are cult members. They're all to be treated like Falun Gong. It doesn't matter. So, it's just goofy.
But while the fallout continues, what's Joe doing? What's your president doing? Well, he's out there touring Ireland, joking about, wishing that he didn't have to return home. Joe, you can stay there as long as you want. Yeah. You can move into an Irish pub.
Oh, look at that. Hannity's got a live audience, and we didn't know he did until now.
As far as I'm concerned, stay there.
Really? That's what it takes now? The show's just been so boring. They're like, we got to drag some fucking maggots in here and make them clap.
We will be better off. When asked about
how come I never get invited to boo?
About the leak today, your president literally just brushed it aside.
Right. And went, Hannity wants to make a big deal out of this and shit on the country, but we're going to be fine. The idea that we're not going to make it through this or whatever seems a little shitty.
Added a bizarre comment about why I got to go plant a tree. And this should worry every American because this is a serious...
It's a serious, is it? By the way, the reason you do realize you showed footage of him planting that tree, that he did actually go to, that was a scheduled event, that they were doing a nice thing in another country. Like, it's fucking hell.
Tree. And this should worry every American because this is a serious, significant, dangerous intelligence leak that never should have happened, but it did. They
Uh-huh. Anything like the boxes of shit that Trump has at Mar-a-Lago while Anna de Rothschild was skirting around the fucking place?
Allowed it to happen. Take a look.
He allowed it to happen. Yeah, he got a phone call, 3 a.m. phone call, and just like, hey, what? Yeah, let him have it.
Look.
Do you have an update on the leak investigation?
They're literally on their way out the door. Look, like the leadership of them, they're walking. This is at the finish of it.
Yeah, it's just for photograph.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just taking pictures together.
Thank you. I'm going to go plant a tree.
How concerned
Yeah, that's what, like, he ignored the question because somebody threw it out there at the end, and then he answers it later. Like, get the fuck out of here. Trump spent most of his time golfing.
are you about this leak?
Are you concerned about our relationship?
concerned about the
okay,
leak?
guys, it's time to go.
Well,
Let's go. Cool, we got to move.
I'm not concerned about the leakages, and I'm concerned that it happened. But there's nothing contemporaneous that I'm aware of that is of great consequence.
No, Joe is lying. He is wrong.
All right, here it comes. This is all
Our
contemporaneous.
strategy for an ongoing war isn't contemporaneous. Apparently, protecting our nation's very sensitive intelligence is not.
Our very sensitive intelligence. And what would that be, Sean? What was the very sensitive
Not a high
part?
priority for him. He's too busy.
No, he said protecting it is important. He's concerned about that it happened. That's the part he can solve going forward to make sure it doesn't happen again. But the content of the leak isn't that big a deal, ultimately. It's not going to affect anything, you know, as far as outing any particular sources that are going to get them killed. He's there, as far as they know, that's not going to be the end of it.
Planting trees and visiting castles in Ireland. But we could have guessed that. After all, he let that Chinese spy balloon collecting intelligence.
Does Sean sniff more when there's an audience around?
And
Or is somebody there? Is somebody in the audience affecting the demonic air? We don't know. We'll find out.
relaying it back to China in real time, fly all across the continental U.S., all over Alaska airspace, all over our sensitive military sites. But don't worry, let not your heart be troubled, because while our nation's secrets were being exposed to the world, Joe had a great day in Ireland. Where he
got a round of applause from the Irish Parliament.
Was chasing balls around at a youth sporting event. Yesterday, he took questions not from the press, but from children. And even there, his son Hunter, who shouldn't even be there, should be.
Why shouldn't he be there?
In jail. Had to.
Oh, because he should be in jail. I thought he was like, he's there making deals in Ireland. No, he just believes he should be in jail.
Save him. Anyway.
And by the way, didn't Trump get all upset because Schiff says that Don Jr. should be in jail? And Sean Hannity has no power whatsoever, and of course was client number 3 of Michael Cohen.
And then he was barked at by the president of Ireland's dog. I'm guessing the dog likely perceived that creepy Joe would show up and might smell his hair. Now,
these guys need to try harder.
of course,
then they had a good time. And I'm still the miserable thumb with a toupee that you see every night.
It all got lost multiple times when trying to pose for pictures, but somehow he also found the time in his busy schedule to make many bizarre, rambling, nonsensical,
No, they were just like, all this stuff, like, we're coming up here, and then like, we'll shut these doors. That was the conversation that's happening. It's again
speeches that we've all come to admire so much.
And these are like, you guys, like, go ahead, stand in the middle, stand on the high step. Like, get that fucking. No, this is all part of the fact that nobody wants a shot with Sean Hannity. This is what he's mad about. All of it, national security, all this kind of. Sean Hannity's problem is that the only people that want a picture with him are people he doesn't consider fuckable. So it's annoying to him. And certainly no one of measure. He's got all the pictures of him and Donald Trump anyone would ever want in a fucking lifetime.
That has now initiated and motivated our geopolitical foes to create alliances to basically replace the U.S. as the world's leader. Take a look.
Our history reminds us, our history, ours, yours and mine, reminds us of the responsibilities we have to the president, that should be the president, our courage, our creativity, our loyalty, our tenacity, and our loyalty again. The only thing I
Yeah. What the fuck?
bring to this career after my
cares?
aged, as you can see, how old I am, was a little bit of wisdom. I come to the job with more experience than any president in American history. Doesn't make me better or worse, but it gives me few excuses. I said, Pop, what do you worry about? He said, you're too much like that guy who led the revolution instead of the guy who was the prime minister. I said, he said, you got to be less like the military guy. They shot him.
She'd look at me and say, Joey, remember who you are. Like, you're a Biden. Like, hey, what the hell is a Biden? You know what I mean? I'm like I'm a...
Oh, this is the whole idea. Like, this is where he's telling the story, for the record, of my word as a Biden, where that came from. And he's in Ireland, and it's an Irish name. And he's talking about when he's a little kid, and his dad, like, you're a Biden. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Because your family name's got to stand for something. You know, like, you're a Hannity, which no one ever said ever.
You know. Anyway, thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
That's your president right there. Now, in fairness, Joe did eventually address the dangers to the U.S., including the most pressing
Let me guess, he's going to make fun of climate change?
threat that we now have, climate change.
Right, there you go. All right. I mean, it's like the fucking tired, like, it's, Sean would do better to just wander that crowd in front of him and grope them until they smile. Just one at a time. Like, what do you want, a handy, or what do you want? What do you need? That's all this is. This is just people pleasing this group of people who are just like, God damn it, why didn't Trump win? That's it.